everybody, and welcome to our Bluecoats game. For those of you that were here last time, you got to see some really wild developments, including Drav being on a clock to get fired and finding out that the drug that we're chasing is the same drug that the Emperor used to become mortal. So, good news, everybody! We're only gonna get killed for knowing things we shouldn't! But that's part of playing the game, and we actually decided that the investigation continues. So, hey, I'm Strash, at Strash A. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm one of the regular streamers slash people on Actual Play. Thank you again for joining us. I am super excited to find out where the mystery leads, because even though we found out the what, we didn't find out the who. So, how about you, Lauren?
Hi, yes, I am Lauren. I use she, they pronouns. I am at the Stray Kiwi on Twitter. And I just can't wait to get to the bottom of all this intrigue and scandal and probably die at the hands of people who are more important than us because we know things we shouldn't. So yeah, I'm super excited to see where this goes. Judd.
Yeah, I'm Judd. He, his. And there's lightning going on behind me, which is very kind of in theme, which is cool. My cat does not like it, but the game fits the game. And I had no idea that you all were going to figure that all out so fast, which is good. I like figuring out the what or the why, and now the how and the who is good to kind of concentrate on. As long as you have a couple of them, I'm good with that. So awesome. Let's get to it. I think we're doing downtime, yeah?
Are we? I'm trying to remember. I know that we did a job of going to the university and finding out some clues there.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. I think we're going to be doing some downtimes. So
yeah.
I forget. Did we go through the whole heat / up down arrows procedure? I didn't rewatch the vid this time.
I believe we did.
I think we did. Yeah,
we did that. We just didn't do the. We just didn't do that. Yep.
Let's do the downtimes then. Let me bring up our mandate here, and all right. So remember that we did pick up a new mandate power. It's called efficiency, which gives us one free downtime activity to reduce heat, acquire an asset. Oh, our heat is at 0, but pressure's at 2. Good. Or work on a long-term project. Well, I think I know. I think I know what that one's going to be used for. Lauren, do you want to take a free action to work on reducing our pressure here?
Yes, please. I would very much like to take a free action to reduce some pressure. Oh gosh, the question is what does this look like in this section? Because so much has happened that is terrifying.
So before we do this, just real quick question. I know that there is a there's a Bluecoats specific mechanism. We're supposed to say whether we do paperwork and what we say in the paperwork.
Oh yeah.
So after that last job, I am morbidly curious what that looks like.
Oh yeah. God. And our options are the truth, making the Bluecoats look good, and a third thing from memory.
A third thing. Yeah. 1 second. I have to find my copy of Bluecoats in this whole shenanigan. Judd, do you have this handy?
I've got it up. Paperwork. What actually happened? Cover for the blue or throw someone under the bus?
Oh my gosh.
I think, well, I'm definitely not saying what actually happened. That is totally not an option.
Oh no, that is not an option at all.
If I could throw somebody under the bus, I might, but I don't have a really clear picture of who that is. So I think I'm covering for the blue by default, which is to say that I know what I'm curious. Do we coordinate on this, Lauren? Do we actually organize our paperwork to say the same stuff, or do we just each write a report?
No, I think we coordinate. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I appreciate your expertise in the social machinations that go on in this area.
I think what I'm going to do is I am going to write a very blasé kind of expectant report, which is I'm going to mention that we've been shaking down some lampblacks because they are the ones that were killed. We got information from them that the drug was coming from like a warehouse. We are following up leads on who may have wanted to kill Frog. But like I don't necessarily mention him by his like street moniker. I'm like, we have identified that one of the key victims was one Aldo Pickett. I'm like, we are following up leads on who may or may not have wanted him dead. This may not be related to the drug at all. It may be a murder case that has to do with gang violence, which is standard for Doskval. And, it's a very, very kind of like standard report that very much follows the template of what the eel is expecting us to be doing, which is we are shaking down crooks and we're looking into criminal ties. It looks about as expected as I can make it.
Nice. I think I will for sure co-sign off on their report. It sounds perfectly like legitimate and accurate to our investigation.
All right.
Awesome.
Cool. So, Lauren, do you wanna take away some pressure machinations here?
Yes, yeah. I kind of feel like this reduction in pressure probably relates to our report that we did in the sense that it's like this stuff we're looking into sort of goes upwards and sideways, and like we don't know like who's at the bottom of this. Someone's trying to scapegoat us, but we're just trying to figure out like what's going down. There's gang involvement, that kind of thing. We can't say for sure. So I think like sort of finger pointing in other directions outside of ourselves is I'm going to reduce pressure in this case.
Sounds good. Do you want to make a roll?
Yeah, I would love to.
Using what?
Hmm.
It's just a fortune roll, so it's not like there's a risk involved. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I feel like I almost feel like it makes sense to release this kind of information through the eel.
Okay.
Maybe using kind of like some kind of savvy like
Relate or exploit?
Yeah, I think maybe because we're not telling the whole truth. So I think we're kind of falsifying our situation here. So I think it's sort of like an exploit kind of situation.
Sounds good. Roll it on up.
Awesome. I got a 5.
Legit.
Cool.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and how much heat does that take off, Josh?
2. Well, actually, I'm sorry. We're not doing heat per se because the last time we did heat, it ticked over and became pressure. So we have 0 heat, but 2 pressure. So this is actually a long-term project to try and reduce pressure. She's just trying to lie and misplace the blame and shift the pressure off of us. I believe we have a clock for that. I think you're tracking it, Judd. So
yes.
Okay.
I have like 4. I bet 4 of 8.
So this would make it 6 of 8.
Awesome. Cool.
Let me see if it's on the mandate. All right, cool. Sweet. And now we have I actually have 3 downtimes, but because I have calculating, I picked that up last time. But you should still have 2 actions left of your own.
Awesome. Do you want to go Strash and spend some of your actions, or like?
Yeah, I'll do an easy one first. I'm gonna vice. So I think we've seen my vicing before, but it's actually like I think it's gonna lead into a thing. So Judd, I think that You remember that? Oh, you're gonna have to say the name because I forgot the name. I'm so sorry. You said that I have a cutter friend that looks like a particular
Oh,
MMA fighter that I do not know the name
yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah. Amanda Nunes.
There we go.
Yep.
So yeah, I I think we have my let me double check the actual name of my cutter friend now. So Rona the cutter, who looks like Amanda Nunez. I think Rona is having another bout. But I think that and I think that this is the thing that I'm doing, right? Like I'm coaching them, if you recall, like from a corner, and we probably even have our whisper friend, acting as a assist there. So Judd, did you want to have like a specific scene, or did we just say that that's a thing that happens?
Um, I think yeah. Let me see how it works. Like let's roll and
Oh, okay.
see
Let's see how much stress I relieve. Okay, sure.
how
Yeah, let's
stress
do
you're
that.
able, or if you overindulge, and then I think we'll know
Well,
if
it's
it's
impossible for me to overindulge because I have exactly 6 stress. So I'm gonna
oh
roll my
awesome.
conviction, and I get 1 bonus die because I'm playing with a few of my friends.
Perfect.
Uh, in which case, I lose 5 stress, so I'm gonna be down to 1 stress. So this is a lot of stress relief.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it's a man, this is unregulated fighting. So, it goes on for 20 rounds, and she wins because the other fighter can't answer the bell for the 21st round.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, I mean she's a mess, but she won.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think I want to actually have a scene afterwards,
Yeah.
where I talk to her, right?
Yeah.
Because I ask her. I think what I say is like we're cleaning her up and stuff in the locker room afterwards or whatever, just to get her back on her feet and able to go out on the street, as it were. And I say, Rona, I've always wondered, like, you're out there punching with like rage vials in your bloodstream. I'm like, what keeps you going in the ring when it's like past the 15th round and basically you've both beaten each other to a pile of meat?
Some people know how to quit, and I don't. I just don't. It's not. It just never comes up. There's never an option. There's only one direction. It's forward. And if you go back, it's because it's a strategy to lull someone in.
Okay.
She says, I'm not sure that's a good thing all the time. And I think eventually, if our gang had continued, I think it would have gotten me killed.
I give her a weird look, right? Like almost like she's nailing exactly what I'm thinking, right? Uh, and I say, sometimes I wonder how the hell we all found each other. Like for all three of us, I think it's genetic, right? Like I think it's in our blood.
Hmm. All right. I need ice, a tub of it.
Yeah, I start putting all the stuff together, but I think that there's a moment, and I'm like, look, I know that you use your fists regularly, and I give her like a again, like I'm like a guarded look, like I'm not giving her all the information, but what I say is like, but you might want to start practicing with blades again too.
All right.
All right, cool. I think that's it for my stress relief scene.
Cool.
So unstressful.
Totally.
What is Maya Tui up to?
I think I should also release some stress. I'm feeling pretty stressed out.
Sounds good.
And from memory, this is still horse riding out in the Deathlands, because like how else do you relieve stress?
Right. With Issa, right?
Yeah, I think this is with Issa again. I think this is like a good opportunity to sort of pass off information outside of like prying ears, because like
Yeah.
the was gonna follow us. Oh, what glorious landmark of these horrible desertous plains do we embark upon today?
Um, I think you look out on a beach, and you're watching Deathland scavengers, who are Iron Hook convicts who have been tossed out into the Deathlands to scavenge, and if they can find something that's worth their readmittance, they can get back into prison. Like that's how low they are on the totem pole.
Oh my gosh. So like we're for sure like on a rise looking out over these people. And I think
Yeah.
I tend to Ethan and I'm like, oh, is this what qualifies as sport for you these days?
This isn't sport. This is so you remember who we're dealing with.
Oh, I see. A lesson more than a dalliance. I Issa, I can trust you, can't I?
What's on your mind?
It is the nature of this case. It is taking some twists and turns that I had not foreseen. And who knows, perhaps the information may prove surprising. It seems as if Ghoul is somewhat linked to the Emperor in their mighty immortality.
In what way?
Well, the drug allegedly, as we have come to believe, can perhaps secure life beyond life.
How did you figure that out?
Uh, when you know who to talk to, the information reveals itself. Someone at the academy.
Be careful. But
Of course.
do what you have to do.
Indeed, I still hold very close to my heart our mission of ridding this town of rats.
Good.
Even if those rats may prove to be more cockroaches.
Six of one, half dozen of the other.
Of course.
Take care. Don't underestimate how quickly these people will escalate to violence.
Of course. I know all too well what a rat will do when cornered.
Good. Good.
And yourself, you should take care. I know you do not deal with rats as much as I do, but I know that the machinations of high society are equally as dangerous.
Thank you.
Of course.
Are you warning me about the case? Is there an aspect of it that's going to splash onto me?
I will do my utmost, of course, to ensure that it does not. You shouldn't have to worry. But if so, I will, of course, send word immediately. My loyalties lie to you above all else.
It's nice to hear.
Of course. Oh.
I put you here because of what you can do for our community, and I think you were a good choice.
Oh, I appreciate your good opinion, Isa. I hope that I follow through on your good word.
Cool. Roll to get rid of your
Roll
stress.
dice. Okay. Oh, I got a 6. How many is that? 1, 2,
That's
3,
6.
4, 5, 6. Oh, I have 1 stress left. I did not overindulge. It's almost a shame. One of these days.
It'll happen. It'll happen.
We ride back to Dusk Ball in good health and good spirits.
Yeah.
The news.
Yeah. Um. Cool. Yeah. Let's go through the rest of the thing, and then we'll do a couple follow-up things.
I think I've got fairly predictable last 2 actions. My vice is good. I don't need to heal. I kind of have a plan. One of my plans is I'm just going to do two trainings with my leftover actions. One is going to be a savvy training, which looks a lot like me actually talking to my boss and pretending to be an everyday bluecoat. Like, because there's a montage, right? Like, one half of it is me in my coat doing my job and being very, like, responsive, writing the correct paperwork, and seeming to be handling things the way that I should be handling it according to them. And then there is the other half of the montage, which is me at home, where I flip around the wall and I've got like my murder board with the string and the pictures and like people like, tied in. I've got extra decks of cards that I'm shuffling and I think we actually probably like see like shots where like Drav like pounds a shot back and goes like, haven't done this in ages, and then he like picks up like a stack of throwing knives and starts like throwing them across the room at something. And so like, not that knives are going to stop any of the monstrosities that the Emperor or anyone else can throw at us, but it's what I got. So yeah, I think it's just savvy and personal training here for me.
Cool.
All right. Sounds good. That's my actions, Lauren. I believe you have one left.
I do. I'm wondering if it's worth pursuing like our reduced pressure project. So I'm like
Yeah.
2 away.
Yeah, that means that on a 4 or 5 you'll do it. So as long as you use an appropriate skill or leverage a friend, there's a pretty decent chance that you can just get it done. And then that'll put us in position to actually like work on reducing heat the normal way next time.
Nice.
Nice.
Maybe this is through Issa again. Like maybe after our horse ride, she helps disseminate some information that kind of like spreads.
Did you have a secondary case where you were supposed to go to a seance or something? I forget this.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe
there was a parlor party. Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe it's the parlor party. That would make sense. Like, yeah, spreading seeds throughout high society of like what's happening, but not really.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good.
Assuring these like rich people that of course you're not under investigation. No, it's those gangs out in the periphery. Like they're the ones who are definitely at fault for this. Like, don't worry.
Awesome.
I feel like it's another exploit. Like, or yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
And I think the ghoul dealer doesn't come through, so they don't even get any ghoul.
Oh,
And,
okay.
Yeah, so they kind of like, oh yeah, it is. It's a drug that's happening somewhere else.
Okay.
Not here. Yeah.
Right.
I got it. Should I add a bonus dice for anything? Like,
Yeah, make add one more for Issa.
cool. That's a 2, but I can spend coin, right, to like increase its effect.
Yes, if you have coin. Do you have coin?
Yeah.
I have 2.
Cool. Yeah, you can spend a coin. Cool. Yeah, you finish that. You finish that off.
Excellent.
Awesome. Yeah, the pressure is off a bit.
Oh, I think you have. Oh wait, you know, never mind. I guess you did have coin. I have stash, so like 2 for 1 for me, but that's fine. Carry on.
Make a controlled standard observe roll. Uh, uh, Mayatui.
Okay, controlled standard. So,
Yeah,
oh, I got threes.
threes. Controlled. What does that mean for controlled?
It means that she ends up in a risky position, I believe. She either has to try a different approach or ends up in a risky position. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay, so something about Issa's response is bugging you. Like you wake up in the middle of the night. It's one of those types of deals where you're like you're working on the case and you're talking about it with Drav and you're talking about next steps and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like you're literally dreaming about talking with Issa about the case and the way she reacted and something was wrong. If you want to ride right over to her house, you can, or you can sit on it. It's total and see if you can make something of it later.
Oh, what would Maya do? I feel like Maya's a very go with her gut person, so I feel like she would ride Kakura over to Issa's house. And
Cool.
No matter the time.
Cool. Yeah. Issa is in her house coat, and she welcomes you in, and she sits you down in her parlor, and she says, "I'm glad you woke me up. If something's bugging you about the case, we should talk about it. Let me go wake the kitchen staff." And she leaves and make a risky standard roll. Observe.
Okay. Risky standard for observe. Ooh. I got a 5.
Cool. So you see it, but you see it when she comes back in the room with tea. What you see are a bunch of the books that you guys had, copies of a bunch of the books that you guys had from Charter Hall that linked Ghoul to the Undying Emperor.
Oh.
And they're just on her shelf amidst other books. And then she puts down the tea and hands you a glass and says, and I think she answered the door at this time of night, so she has like a pistol in the pocket of her housecoat because she doesn't fuck around. And she says, "What's going on? What's on your mind, darling?"
Oh, totally. And I think like we see like Maya's lavender eyes like glance at the library shelf and then back at Issa. And she says quite innocently, "I find myself quite troubled. It occurred to me late this evening that there may be other copies of the text that I found at the academy. The professor assured me that he was the only one researching into this matter, and yet I find myself wondering if he was perhaps telling the truth." Have you heard amongst oh no, we've lost John.
Uh-oh. Hang on, this throws everything into wild disarray.
Oh, and now Strash is muted.
This throws everything into wild disarray on the stream. Hang tight, let's give Judd just a couple of seconds. I don't have a really good graceful way to uh hang on. Actually, maybe I'll put us on a wait screen. Well, no, just then I'll switch the music. Let's give Judd just a couple seconds. If you recall, he had terrible lightning behind him, so let's just
Yes.
let me ping him in chat just to make sure he's
The internet is safe and secure.
hopefully he'll his phone will work even if his in-house internet isn't.
Totally. I'm on like the edge of my seat. I'm like, am I gonna get shot? Like, who knows?
I can't. So I'm working towards a really cool power. Let's just. I don't have a handy. Just the two of us talking. We're all like fragmented in the in the video, but I'm working towards a really cool power that allows me to assist people remotely. It's a spider power I'm going to be buying via veteran that allows me to give assists an extra dice even if I'm not present because I would have planned for something like this. But I don't have it yet. You saw me training. I'm trying to get there. I'll have it by the end of the session. I just not quite there yet.
Excellent.
So yeah.
I just hope my friend doesn't shoot me.
The same.
Oh,
Hang on. Let's let me figure out.
Sorry.
No, it's
No
fine.
problem.
But it's kind of hilarious, Judd, because I think your head is where Lauren's head should be. So can I get the two of you to both click the little camera, the stop video button? And then Judd come back. And now Lauren come back. And we're good. All right, let's get back to it. Let's see if she gets shot in the protocol.
But yeah, I think I tell Issa, like, it occurred to me late last night that, how horrible it would be if there were multiple copies of this information lying around the place. Surely the professor didn't lie to me.
Right. So I heard you say something about Maya's violet eyes, and then my power went out.
Oh, no.
So the room went dark, and it was kind of terrifying. So go on from there.
Oh, what a good setting for this kind of thing. Yes, like you see Maya's like violet eyes look from these books on the shelf back to Issa, and she says like very innocently like, "It came to me very late last night. I fear a dream that perhaps there were multiple copies of this information lying around the place, and the professor assured me that he had the only ones, but could he be lying to me?"
Are you trying to lie to her to throw her off the scent?
I think so, yeah. I think I'm trying to lie to her to throw her off the scent.
Sounds good. I think that demands a roll.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think it does.
Good luck.
It's like
That sounds like exploit to me, unless you have a better plan.
I think this is exploit. Yeah, this is like deceiving. This is deceiving. Oh gosh, what's my position? Is it? I'm guessing risky.
Yeah, risky standard.
Risky standard. Oh, do I push myself? I think I might push myself.
Oh.
Oh no, I got a 3.
Okay.
That's a straight up failure.
And yeah, I regret pushing myself.
You gotta take the chances. Sometimes it plays in your direction, and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just on a 1 to 3 for risky, things go badly. You suffer harm, a complication occurs, you end up in a desperate position, or you lose this opportunity, and it can be more than one of those.
Excellent.
She says, There's no way to make it in Duskval without a crew. My crew was called Deathlands Import and Freight. And we brought in a few crates of some kind of alchemical mix. We weren't sure what it was. We were young, we were stupid, and we dropped it on the street. We kept some for ourselves, and we did some research to see what it was. And when we found out, we got the fuck rid of it. When we were selling it and didn't know any better, the folks who took it were a bunch of young hawkers called the Grinning Ravens.
Yeah.
They're all dead now.
My condolences. Oh, Ghost Rush.
Just for your memory, that was my gang. You heard me say exactly that name to Bajo Baz last time. Please continue.
Nice. I think like my fate's ignorance for this name comes up.
You getting this case was not an accident, and it was not something we've settled for. It was very carefully placed.
Well,
Find out who has the remaining bits of ghoul, and tell the Emperor, so the Emperor can do whatever the Emperor is going to do, probably destroy them. If you want to throw some other names of people who need to be destroyed in there in the mix, if you've got a personal grudge, may the Deathland Saints bless you. But if you put my name in there, there won't be a Deathland settlement far enough away to get away from my wrath. But I don't think our relationship needs to go that way, does it?
Of course not. No, of course not, Issa. I would not trust you to ride with me into the Deathlands if I did not hold you very close.
Good. I'm sorry. I'm just displaced. You can't imagine what it does to people.
I can only imagine. I've been here for some short time, and I am already clawing at the walls, as it were.
I'm threatening a kinsman here. I'm very sorry. I just feel like I have to. This stuff brings a lot of heat with it, and it needs to be covered.
Of course, I can only imagine what paranoia comes with living in the city. It is the price I fear for dallying in the upper echelons of society.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
Well, your name will stay out of it, of course.
Thank you.
And I do apologize for waking you at such an uncomfortable hour of the evening.
No, I appreciate that you put that all together. That's why you're such a good choice for this.
I do what I can, and I do what I can for you, Issa.
For us, for our community.
Oh, of course, yes. For the community. I fear I should let you get back to your bed, so you may have some several more hours to rest before I'm sure what will be a busy day tomorrow.
Of course. Good luck.
Oh, thank you. I drain the rest of my tea and swoop my cloak around myself and take off out into the murky streets of Duskval.
Sounds good.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh, this is gonna end well. All right. Cool. Have we handled all our downtime actions?
I think so. Yes, I've had my 3. You have 4, right?
I have 3, and then we have an extra one from our mandate, which grants it to us right now. but I think we're okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So I guess my question to you, investigator, is how do you want to keep moving forward?
Oh my god.
I
Very
have I have
specific.
a I have a suggestion. It's not a particularly exciting suggestion, so maybe we can just do it with a couple of rolls and call it a day, unless Judd wants to introduce new plot. Because we promised the Limplex that we would be dealing with some red sashes in this particular phase. Now, we could absolutely break our word and just go do whatever the hell we want. Or we could just say the next job is putting the screws down on the red sashes. And we know that it's not advancing the mandate, but it's I'm not gonna say like I don't know. Like it is technically doing our jobs even though it's not doing like trying to solve the crimes. Like it would give us another downtime sequence so that we could take like more actions and stuff like that. But it would also bring on some more heat. On the other hand, we're dealing with the Red Sashes who are a tier 2 group, which means that we would just get heat instead of like going immediately into like pressure land. So how do you feel about that, Maya? Like are you like no, Drav, we are going to go and deal with this case. And Drav's going to be like, clearly, Maya, and we will seek it to the ends of the earth and totally not ignore your friend. But are we like what do you think is the play here? I would like to keep the word, my word to the Lampblax, but it's really up to like the rest of the crew.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. I feel like it makes sense to sort of like follow through on that promise we made. It might reveal some other like information that may be relevant as well, which would be handy. Because I think ultimately we're better off not jumping straight into
The other thing
dangerous water.
the other thing that's a problem is that we have a name. I'm pretty sure we have a name. Finn Bowmore. But the Bowmore family is very powerful, and we have absolutely no information on Finn. So, the standard PC way of handling this problem is to just go to Finn's house, knock on the door, and ask to speak to him. But that's really dumb in our book, in my opinion. Like, because if we try to do that, we're gonna alert him that we know things. He's gonna activate all of his, like, tier 4 people that protect him, because he's a famous family with famous people on his side. And we have no clues. We don't actually know why he knows where the warehouse is with this stuff. We don't know why that warehouse is where it got stashed. I feel like we could maybe pursue some investigative angles in downtime, like just acquire assets information or work along to project or do anything like that, that might advance our... Like, we need to understand what our next step is. Like, I would rather not show up to his house empty-handed, waving a mandate around and asking to speak to him when we've got nothing more than some Lampblack said that you gave them stuff. Right? Because he's just going to be like, well, it's their word against mine, so what are you going to do, Bluecoat? And I'll be like, shit. So...
Totes. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, yeah, like follow through with this like red sashes, have a downtime phase to like prep for going after like Finn Bowmore. It sounds very prudent.
Cool.
So what do you think about that, Judd? Like,
Sounds awesome.
could we get through like some kick in the door, like investigating Red Sash's stuff as a job that's not particularly... We know it's not going to improve our investigation, but yeah.
Right.
It might. I might be wrong. We might be knocking down a completely different door, but right now all I'm doing is just like looking to keep my word.
Yeah. Sounds awesome. What kind of place, like what kind of red sash holding are you looking to kick the door down to?
Well, they're in Crowsfoot, which is not my usual beat. But we have the mandate, which allows us to maybe like look at it. I don't know. I don't want to do this perfunctorily because I feel like Bajo dealt with us honestly. But at the same time, I don't want to necessarily like... we don't know where the hell their headquarters are. Like, it's probably just like a gambling den or something. I don't know what the hell they actually, like, if I recall, they do, like, they have a fencing school, but they I don't know what their actual, like, standard crime is. Drugs, is it? I think it's drugs, actually.
Yeah.
So maybe it's like a smoke den of some sort. Like maybe it's like a spark den or something. I don't know. Like whatever the Bluecoats have information on. If we find something that's probably generating them money, which is what I promised Bajo I would be going after, maybe that's like a thing that we can handle.
Okay. Are you cluing the eel in on this? Are you?
Oh yeah, he mentioned that he's willing to give us support, and he mentioned that he wants me to fucking do this kind of shit. So I am 100% upfront. I'm doing it straight through channels, and I'm like doing it the way that he wants me to do it. Right? Like he will understand that what I'm doing is probably not going to net us anything, but I'm going to give him plausible deniability. I'm going to be like, the people that probably murdered Aldo Pickett are the Red Sashes because the Lamp Blacks are at war with them. In order to investigate this, I believe that the person at the head of this particular drug den is involved with this, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, awesome. Make a controlled great roll to get some ticks off of that get fired.
Yes! Controlled great roll. Let's see here. Now let's talk about this ability. Like, what am I rolling relate, where I'm basically saying like, look, I'm trying to play, like, relate is like the skill that you use to like make a deal with people or put people at ease. I feel like that's appropriate. All right, let's do a
That sounds good. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I think you tell me. But yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like an appropriate use of relate.
All right. Now, just because I'm trying to do a thing, I'm going to push myself.
Okay.
For those of you that are playing along at home, I'm being a sneaky player. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I have to move this around. I'm trying to build up some... Yes! A 6! I'm trying to... Controlled grade. That means that I take 3 ticks off the clock, which is really good, because it puts me back at 0 ticks for right now. Because we're going to be putting some ticks on that clock real soon. But
the borough chief, who you all call the Eel, is Chief Clave the Eel Helker, and he is thrilled with you, and he tells you, he says, Drav, this is the kind of good police work that they told me you were going to do. This is the kind of good police work that's going to get you your own special crimes unit.
Say,
I am so proud of you.
I say, today, sir, I'm a lot less worried about my own crimes unit and a lot more worried about making sure that you are understanding that I read your message loud and clear.
Okay. Great work.
Awesome. Do we want to roleplay out any door kicking? Is there any information you want to pass to us? I'm not actually even 100% sure, like, how involved... Like, I'm probably leading some charges, but I don't know how involved, like, the whole situation is, or how you feel about that.
Do you want to just, like, let door kickers do their thing? And, well, I mean, I think we should set it up. So let's make a... I mean, it's a job, right? I mean, it's an investigation, so we should make the roll. Because it's dangerous.
Absolutely.
So
I feel like this is assault.
Yep.
I think so.
And I'm going to push myself again because, again, I am being cheesy and making sure that I'm going to be able to vice correctly in the downtime. What kind of a position is this? Is this, like, is it risky?
I think that it depends on your engagement roll. I think we need to make that engagement roll.
All right. Let's do it. So it's 1 die as by default.
Yeah.
The Bluecoats are tier
3.
And the Red Sashes are tier 2, so we have advantage there.
Yep.
I don't know that I'm bringing any particular friends to bear. Let me check the Bluecoat sheet because I didn't put my friends in because I'm a terrible player. I'll do that for next time.
Okay.
Nope. I've got no friends to bring here to bear. What about you, investigator? Are you mixing your fingers in here, or are you no?
Well, that's a good question. I know Issa obviously have a bad relationship with the Lord Governor. I have connections to the Master Warden, Commander of the Watch, and the Chief Magistrate. So if any of them, I guess, or have an interest in this job, then maybe.
I mean, this is really grunt work, and it's also the first bad bit of police work you're doing, where it's just really kind of useless. So if you want to involve them, you absolutely can. Just tell me how you want to talk to them, and I'll absolutely, we'll role play it out and we'll figure out how it helps or what.
Oh, what do you think, Strashes Bay resident, like a expert in navigating these relationships with?
Well, if you got something like the Commander of the Watch involved, it would make sure that there are no jurisdictional issues. But honestly, I feel like we have 2 dice, and I just throw the dice and see how it rolls. I'm expecting there to be like a couple of rolls on my end, and then a couple of observe rolls just to see if there's any interesting information to be gleaned about something else. Who knows? We might stumble on a second case. I'm willing to take the 2 die roll. How are you feeling?
Yeah, why not? Let's that sounds good. Let's roll with it.
Judd, is it cool if I just throw some dice for fortune?
Throw some dice.
Okay, let's do engagement roll. Let's see how bad this is. 6.
Oh, not bad at all.
Position.
Awesome. I picture you two sitting out in the street, sharing a pipe or a cigarette or a coffee or whatever your preferred cop-like thing is that you're kind of sipping or puffing on, while a bunch of like heavily armored bluecoats are like screaming and kicking, and like they've got a battering ram and they're excited, and they take down a door, and you hear a bunch of nonsense going on, and you're kind of far from it. Like it's, and you're paying back who you need to pay back. Let's roll and see how it goes. I'm just going to roll 3 dice versus 2 dice and see if anything crazy comes up. Otherwise, I think so. 3 are the bluecoats.
That's a crit.
Oh my god.
Those poor red sashes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
wow.
The red sashes got a 6, which in any other day would be a clean win, except for the fact that the bluecoats crit.
Yeah. The red sashes put up a brutal fight, but the bluecoats grab a bunch of them, throw them in shackles, throw them on the curb, and they come to you, Mayatui, and they say, "You want to check, see if any of these are your guy?"
Do we want to take a walk through the drug den?
I think so. That sounds like a good idea.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is this? We know that there isn't a guy here, Judd, but we can look around and see if they have connections to the drug.
Yeah. You get in there, and it is a drug den that has been cleared out because they just kicked down a door, and you go back to the storage room, and there is a vial of ghoul.
Like just one? Like, does it look like they were... Like, do they have quantities to sell? Does it look like it's just the last of the quantities? What's the...
It looks like they were getting ready to cut it to make it go further. And according to the papers that are on the bench, they were going to cut it with really bad, like dregs cheap Leviathan blood. Like it's not Leviathan blood, like the pure stuff that like this city runs on, but like crap that's scraped out of barrels that like sailors sell for cheap. That when someone wants to cut a drug that has certain ectoplasmic properties and they're an idiot, they use this. I mean, it's the ectoplasmic version of Drano. It is bad. And they were getting ready to cut the last of their ghoul with this crap.
So the Google supply is drying up. Is generally what I'm getting.
Yeah.
So I think I look at Maya and I'm just like, do you want to push them and see who knows where they got it in the first place? See if names line up or if we get a new name.
I feel like it would be a waste if we didn't. We can at least talk to them and figure out where the supply is coming from. Maybe it aligns with our story, maybe not. But either way, an answer is needed. Time to question some folks.
Cool. You get. Hold on. Let me look at my notes.
Do you want us to roll?
Yeah.
I ask, eager to spend a stress since I did not get to roll my assault. Maya, I think I am going to assist you, and I think this is one of those classic I am bad cop, she is scary cop. Like where I walk outside and I'm like, fine, not quite citizens of Duskfall. I have a simple question for you. Which one of you was in charge of procuring the goods here? And like I'll clearly like pick someone up and like do the whole like, was it you? Like like probably like just punch him in the solar plexus kind of thing. Like not actively hurting anyone like to the point where they're truly injured, but just doing the like I'm the Bluecoat muscle.
Yeah.
So I will assist you. If you want to question / do whatever it is that you usually do to find all this awesome stuff out.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think like Maya must have like brings up this vial of the stuff, right? I think it sort of like glows a little bit more in her hand as she like holds it up, and it's very much like, if you want this to end well for you, it would be prudent to tell us the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, we're controlled great.
Excellent. Controlled great. I got a 5.
Cool.
All right.
So you're talking to one of the other Bluecoats who works this beat says that's the leader of this smokehouse. Her name is Zamira the Hook, and she's called that because she has a hook for a hand. And she says, "I'll tell you whatever you want to know, but let everyone else go, and I'll do the time."
This is actually not that unusual for gangs. Like, someone will take the fall and they'll go to prison, which will relieve pressure. I checked with the like commander of the watch or the group that was actually doing the assault in case any one of them has like a particular beef with one of these.
No, they're happy they got to knock some heads in.
Right. In which case, I don't have a problem with this plan. What do you think, Maya Tui?
No, I think if Miss Samir or Miss Hook is however she prefers to be addressed, wishes to take the rap for her gang, then of course I will acquiesce to her request.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Yeah, I think it gets cleaned up pretty quick. I think when we have a couple of conversations, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, good deal. But we're gonna need some info. Like we're willing to do it.
Fantastic.
I think I wiggled the little ghoul vial in front of her, and I'm like, what I need to know is where are the red sashes getting this? Who are they getting it from? Why do they have their hands on it?
It's selling a lot. It's selling for a lot on the black market. For a while, it was just a hallucinogen, but now all kinds of people are looking for it. Whispers are looking for it. Street whispers are looking for it. Apparently, it does something to your ghost, kind of disconnects it from your body or some shit. So it's selling. It's selling really well. We were gonna cut some with some whale shit and some Leviathan shit and just sell it. And
Secretly in my head, I think to myself, I think I've just discovered who nicknamed it first Ghost Shit.
right. Yes. It was the red sashes. Guilty as charged. And she says, listen, I hear that we're getting it from rich families. I know that we got it from Lizette Rowan.
Does it name ring bells?
Rowan is a city council name.
Jesus Christ.
They're all in this.
And Lizette is like, she's in the tabloids a lot because she's gets into a lot of trouble.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like the Paris Hilton of Duskwall. Lizette sold us half a case. If we could cut it and then sell it out there, we'd make a fortune. And during wartime, every piece of coin counts.
And yet, it seems as if your supplies are running out. Hence, the large quantities of the.
Yeah, no one knows how the hell this shit is made. I had thoughts to take some of it, and take it to a whisper friend and maybe get it broken down, see what they can make of it. But I just haven't had time.
Yeah, of course. Time is a precious commodity.
During wartime, it all goes away. So you're going to talk to Ironhook, make sure I don't do too much time. I want to be back out there. My brothers and sisters are dying in the street because of the lampblacks.
Well, of course. You've been forthcoming with the information, and I don't see a reason to keep you in there longer than necessary, Miss Hook.
You don't seem like a blue coat. What the hell are you?
It's a good question. Who am I indeed? I barely know myself on every other Tuesday.
She's an inspector.
That is my official title, I suppose. Miss Hook.
Samira. Anyway, if you need anything else, if you do right by me, I'll do right by you.
We're kind of in a bind here, Maya. I have 2 points to make. The first of which is that we did promise. We promised Bajo that we would put some pressure on the Red Sashes. Now, we are releasing some of their people on the streets, but I think that what I specifically told them was money, right? So, I think that we're going to have to make sure that all the drugs are seized, the den is shut down, so that, effectively the Red Sashes are ceding this turf to us as Bluecoats, right? We're turning it off. They can probably restart another drug operation somewhere, but it's not going to be immediate, right? On the other hand, I'm not, I actually have a word with Maya. I know that the Red Sashes have connections to the inspectors via their, whole Eruvian consulate nonsense, but I think that I'm just I'm not 100% sure, I'm okay with her doing time as long as, this war's gonna be over, maybe, at least a couple months, if we can make sure that she's not back on the streets too soon, that's the part that I'm really worried about.
Oh, yes, of course.
Alright, cool. I know you're the one with magistrate connections, I am not. On the other hand, I do have drug dealer connections, which I think I might look up during the downtimes. Cool. I feel like I'm good. Judd, are you good? Do you want us to do
Yeah.
anything else?
No, I'm good.
Lauren, do you have any other ideas?
No, I think I'm good. I think we came up. We have what we wanted and followed through on promises.
Okay. In which case, we're probably gonna have to do that whole end of job song and dance, as it were. Yeah. You folks ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, totally.
All right, cool. Here we go. All right, step 1. Duty. The unit earns 2 duty per operation by default. If you made progress on the mandate, you take +1 duty. I don't know. We kind of actually did make progress on the mandate, just not a ton.
Yeah.
It just turned out to work out okay.
I think +3.
All right, cool. So let me find where our duty is hiding. 1, 2, 3. Getting pretty close to actually increasing our tier, so that's good. Next up, 2, heat. After an operation or conflict with an opponent, the unit takes heat equal to double the tier of the highest tier subject involved, which I believe is 2. Is that correct?
Yep.
Now I have a question. Since they're at war, is their tier reduced? Or are we just gonna roll with 2?
I can go with their tier being 1. That's
Okay.
cool with me.
So that would give us 2 heat, which is fine. And then
It's a reasonable amount of heat.
oh my god, this is so different from the 9 we always get. I'm so sorry. Okay, add +1 heat for a high profile or well connected target. I don't feel like this was high profile. I don't think she was well connected, so I think this is just like a standard 2. And then +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. I feel like it was on Red Sash turf, so may go to 3. Is that what do you folks think?
Yep. That's
That
what I was
makes
thinking.
sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then add +1 heat if you're at war. I don't feel like we're at war. Or add +1 heat if you're at war, but add +2 heat if killing was involved. I don't think anyone died. Is that...
No one died.
All right, cool. So 3 heat total, which is, I think, 1/3 of what we ever get.
Oh my gosh, that
ridiculous.
is.
We might actually be able to, like, get rid of all of our heat in one effing sitting, which is...
Holy crap.
I know, right? Okay, and then we have to do paperwork and entanglements. Paperwork. Before entanglements, deal with paperwork. Blow off your paperwork and take +1d to one of your downtime rolls, or write your reports and choose what you say. I feel like I am writing my reports because I am trying to stay in the good graces of Chief Clave Helker, aka the Eel. How about you, Maya?
Yeah, I think it would be prudent to do one's paperwork at this point in time, just to sort of keep up the guys that were following through on our job 100%.
Okay, cool. So do we write what actually happened, cover for the blue, or throw someone under the bus?
I think we probably make the Bluecoats look good again, right? Because I don't think we want to necessarily like tell the truth about the connections we found to the city council again.
That's actually smart. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was like, wow, this is the first time I actually say what happened. You're like, you're gonna tell them that the city council's mom. I'm like, no, I don't say what happened. Thank you, Inspector. Yeah. Okay. So I think it's pretty much. So what do we say? Who do we? I mean, obviously we found some ghoul, so that's good. We found out that the Red Sashes have been acquiring it and selling it. Yay. They've given us some leads. And this person is willing to cooperate further. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I think it sounds totally accurate to what happened.
All right. So now that we have a heat of 3, we still get the 0 to 3 chart. And then for entanglements, roll dice equal to pressure. So we're gonna roll 2 dice and read the result according to heat. Oh wait, no, you reduce pressure. We rolled 1 die again. Thank heavens. Yes. What goodness me. Hang on. Roll fortune.
I'm almost worried. It's going too well.
We can't catch a break. It's a 6! It's community or rivals. Community. Someone from the local community expects you to handle a problem for them. Put the mandate on hold to deal with it, or take -1 status with the citizenry. Or rivals. A neutral faction throws their weight around. They threaten you, a friend or contact, or one of your vice purveyors. Forfeit 1 coin per tier of the rival, or stand up to him and lose 1 status. Judd, it's in your court now.
Oh God.
Yeah. Someone from the local community. No, I think it's rivals, and I think it's the city council again.
God damn it, people.
Oh, no.
All right, well, we can't pay him off, so how does this work? Man,
Some
like,
awful
freaking
design.
kings, every time you do a job when you're an actual blade, you're just like, look at all this free coin! And then, you know, like, when somebody shows up, it's like, oh, can you pay me 6 coin? You're like, yes, I can. With Bluecoats, I'm like, what's this money thing?
Exactly.
So I think they get really, really serious.
No.
And I think a bunch of things happen all at once. I think Issa's diplomatic status is revoked. And Hopper and Rona are thrown in jail.
Oh, I was going to say, they get passive aggressive, but this is so much more worse than that.
No, they get aggressive. They get aggressive.
They get aggressive.
So,
And
okay.
Mm.
yeah.
Who will I go for again?
You don't have anyone this downtime sequence.
No.
You can go alone.
You don't want to come with me, Draw?
Oh, I think if you're like, do you want to go riding in the Deathlands? I'm like, riding? What is that? You mean a train? Yes. We can go for a train ride.
Draw.
You're like, get on one of these things. She's like, that's a really big thing. Actually, no. I think maybe we have to have a scene about this.
So I just rolled some dice just to see exactly what happened. Because I didn't want them to just get caught straight out.
No,
so
I mean, we're
yeah.
this is how Deathlands work.
No, I know. I just wanted to. I think it's more interesting if it's more complicated. Hopper gets picked up, and Rona is in the wind.
So, I mean, obviously, like, Drav comes in for work, and then, like, when he reads, like, the blotter, like, he immediately gets up and like, rushes off to whatever precinct. It's probably the university precinct, wherever Hopper is, to, like, visit him and, like, because he probably goes to jail before he goes to prison, right? So, like,
yeah.
I need to figure out who's doing this and, like, who they used to do this, right?
Right. Right.
So I think this is like, yeah, like I go pretty steamed into, like, the police precinct, and I'm just like, that's what I'm trying to figure out is, like, who threw them into, like, prison that I'm going to, like, confront whichever blue coat that is and be like, yo, what the shit, man, and, like, figure out, like, who told him to go after this guy.
Yeah.
So do you want me to throw some dice, or do we want to just, like, frame a scene? How do you want to deal with this?
Yeah, I mean, Charter Hall is well lit, pretty streets, and the precinct is pretty clean and reasonable, and it is it's one of it's one of the commander's sons who is the precinct chief. It's his name is Vaughn McClellan. And he welcomes you into his office. It says, Drav, your name's been ringing out. How can I help you? What's going on?
I need to know why you picked up Hopper. Or actually, I use his actual name, whatever would be on the paperwork.
Yeah, yeah. Harville Cooper.
Seriously? Like, I probably asked Hopper because I've never called him anything other than Hopper. But go on. I love it.
Charter Hall is trying to become legitimate, and they want to crack down on drug use.
Drug use. Hopper's clean. What the hell are they throwing him in there for?
No, apparently he had enough spark to be dealing.
Is that a thing that I know that Hopper might actually have?
No, that's not even like the right drug for him. Like,
Yeah.
that's not even like what he would deal if he was dealing. You know, if he needed a little extra money, like spark is to my mind like the disc ball equivalent of crack. Like, it's just not what he would do.
Yeah, I need to know who told you that he had this. And I need to know who the hell the arresting officer was.
Well, as a blue coat, that paperwork is, of course, open to you. It is Thina Salkara was the arresting officer.
And what does she have in her paperwork about why she decided to go after this guy? Because clearly this is not some, like, long-time sting operation or whatever. This is a tip or something. Like, but she has to put some reason there. She isn't just like, whoops, I fell into a fountain and found a guy with a bunch of spark. Yeah,
she said an unnamed CI. I mean, it's like the vaguest bullshit.
Cool. Where is she now?
Yeah, he says she's out on her beat, and he gives you a couple of street names.
I stand up. I thank the chief, and it's pretty clear that Drav is like, I must control my temper. I must control my temper. I must control my temper. And I'm like, all right. Thank you so much, sir. I apologize for any trouble that I may stir up with this, but this may be reprisals for an investigation I'm handling. And I say, I'm sorry to get your district involved, particularly if you're trying to go legit. But I will try and keep this as clean as I can.
Okay. Good luck.
Where do I find Thina Salkara?
You find her on the corner of Imperial and Dalmore. And yeah, I mean, she's just she's got like her nightstick, and she's kind of doing like a twirl with it, and then tipping her hat to people as they go by.
Yeah, I think there's just like a moment where I like intentionally am in her path. And I just like.
Are you wearing your uniform?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You're a little far from your home precinct, aren't you?
Yeah. I don't even like play the game or try to relate to her. Like,
right.
Smart Drav, calculating Drav would just be like, "Hey Thina, how's it going? Yeah. Have you heard of me? That's cool. Let's get a drink." This is not that Drav. This Drav is just like, I'm going to ask you some questions, and if you do not answer, like, it's really funny because he's treating her like Cross, right? Like, this is a serious flashback to Cross. He goes like, "Yeah, I'm out of my beat. Do you know who I am?"
Yeah, you're the Dunslow prick with the who's hiding behind a mandate or something.
Yeah. I nod, and I'm like, good. So then I don't have to explain to you that you're going to be called into this mandate if you don't answer a couple of my questions. I go, first question, who the fuck told you to pick up? And I actually rattle off Hopper's name.
Harville Cooper?
Yeah, Harville Cooper, sorry.
I got an anonymous tip. He was breaking the law. It's too bad. I heard he had a history of crime, actually. Now that I'm digging into this case, I think it's got legs. Leads back to some old gang called the Grinning Ravens. Shit, we might have to dig up some shit and look into them a little bit.
Uh, do you think you're going to be doing a lot of looking into it from Ironhook?
Please.
If that's how you want to play it.
You can pretend that the emperor is your rabbi all day, but the city council is mine, so you can go fuck yourself.
That tells me everything I need to know. Thank you. And I just turn around and walk away.
Yep.
Oh my god.
She's right, though. I can't just punch her.
Maybe later.
I think this is the moment, right? Like I think that Trav actually like comes looking for Maya, and is I'm sorry, we're like running all over free play and like not going to our downtime actions.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think Trav just like
I jumped on you, but I jumped on you with both feet here. So this is
yeah. I think Trav definitely like finds Maya wherever the hell you are.
Probably like with dismounting for a delightful ride in the Deathlands today. You didn't come on. I offered the invitation, but alas.
Yeah, and I think Drav is like, look, like he puts it on the line. He's like, it's one thing for me to get my nose bloody. When you said we're following you to the end, I said, yeah, we are. That's one thing. But they're not coming after me. They're coming after my people. Now what?
Well, it's a shame you got to ask the question first, because I was going to issue the same to you. It indeed seems like they're coming after our people. I do not know the city as well as you do, but I fear that the longer we dally, the longer we put off confronting the people that are at the heart of this matter, then the more people will be taken away. We have several names of the city council. We just need a...
Yeah, but we don't have anything that's going to stick. We need evidence. We need more than the words of one red sash and one lamp black.
Agreed.
If I was actually doing police work, this is where I would set up like a sting, right? Like I would have a red sash go to them and ask for drugs and have witnesses and recordings and that kind of thing. We need some sort of confession, but at this point, aside from hanging them upside down in sewers, I'm not 100% sure how to get one. They are protected rich people that have a lot more status than I do, and we don't have enough to leverage this off of them, right? Like, the lady in Iron Hook, we had some vigorous on, right? Like, we had murders that we could pin to her. It could go ugly. But all we have now is rumors that somebody may have gotten some drugs to someone. And we need more. Like, we can rattle cages, but I think that it's not going to end up anywhere. You're seeing them push. This is a gentle push as far as people that high up are concerned. Like, they've thrown one person in prison and actually what, like, would you have told me about your friend?
I think so. I trust people more than anyone. You know, yeah, I would totally be honest with you about all that.
Okay,
You're my friend.
Unfortunately, I'm suspecting that the only play we have is we can like, I'm not 100% sure how to push back here, right? Like we can take some people and throw them in jail for like overnight, but they have actual magistrates in their pockets. They have actual lawyers, and we are not going to get a lot of time. It's pretty clear now that we are not moving hidden anymore. They know that we're coming for them. They know that their names are starting to crop up. So the element of surprise is gone. Right now, the only thing that we have left on our side is the burden of proof if we want these people to stay in prison.
Hmm.
So we can do this the legitimate way. And unfortunately, what they want us to do is to be too busy dealing with our problems instead of coming after them. And to be frank with you, I can't abandon my friends. Like, I don't know if there is a thing that we can do to clear this, and I don't know if there's a thing that we can do to push back other than to do a job coming up here. But I feel like we're going in with no ammunition and a hell of a lot of anger, and it's the wrong play, but it's the only play I have. Do you have better ideas? Do you know what we can follow or how we can go in order to try and, like, cut a different angle or dig up something on them? Right now, the best that I could come up with is to have somebody undercover go into high society, but I am not great at that.
It's true. Our hand is increasingly losing cards. If this were a mere game, I would have perhaps quit, but it is too late for that. We must continue onward. I think legitimate avenues are ones we cannot explore any further. We can only keep up that pretense as long as possible. I think I'm also led to the conclusion that the only really approach we have is to indeed sneak through the cracks of high society, to follow the lesser traveled upstream rivers and hope that it perhaps leads to something bigger.
How do you think we should tackle that?
Oh,
Because we are exiting my world. My world is the streets. You need to talk to the Red Sashes, you need to talk to the Lampblacks. I know how to do that. But at this point, I'm out of my depth. I don't... Hell, I think I've been to, like, one governor's ball when the cops were invited. Like... And I was there mostly following my commissioner around because he needed somebody to hand his hat to. Like, I can barely pretend to be what I'm not. Do you have an idea? Do we set up secret identities? Do we, like, what's the... What kind of play would we do here?
I think it would only be appropriate to ask, who are you? And to perhaps create a new identity for ourselves.
To become someone else. Okay. Interesting.
Are we looking at an undercover, I mean,
Yeah.
a job, but investigation?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're going to have to create cover identities, which is going to be a downtime action. And we're going to have to set up a job to go to some high society thing. Because a lot of people know the name drive around, but I think very few people actually know who the shit I am in terms of, like, being able to identify me if they see me, right? So,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
a little bit of hair dye, some scruffy beard, and I should be G to G, right? But, like, Maya's a little more identifiable due to those lavender eyes. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe we can visit a leech, get something and make some blue or something.
Yeah, totally. Or yeah.
There are disguises aplenty. I'm sure someone's had this problem before. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's the plan. I think that. So, like, it says, unfortunately, the entanglement says pay them off, which we don't have the coin to literally, or take -1 status with them as you push back. But the problem is that we don't have the capacity to push back until the job. So is that cool? Can we do this job as, like, the pushback and then take the -1 status at the end of that?
Yeah.
All right.
Totally.
Rad. Okay. I have a favor to ask, Maya.
Of course, anything.
So you happen to know a magistrate, I think. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe I do. Yes, the chief magistrate, in fact.
Could you acquire a release for Hopper
Oh, totally. Yeah, I would.
during
Of course,
downtime?
do that for you. Yes.
It's a waste of an action, but I feel like it's maybe the appropriate it's the appropriate call. So Cool. I think that we're almost in downtown proper. I actually haven't been keeping track of our time. Do you folks want to take a break and then continue? How do you want to? Do you want to just go through downtime to take a break before job? Like, what's the plan here?
Why don't we do the downtime and then we'll take the break before the job? Is that okay with everybody?
Excellent.
Cool.
I'm cool with that too. Yeah. All right. So we technically stopped in the middle of paperwork and entanglements. So we're supposed to do faction statuses and local traits.
Right.
So killing, there was no killing, so we can just skip it. Arrests, -1 status with the subject's faction, +1 status with a faction helped by the arrest, and or with the Bluecoats if the arrest makes them look good. So we did make an arrest. It was a red sash. So we would go to -1 with the red sashes, +1 with the lamp blacks, right? And then I feel like you tell me, does this arrest make the Bluecoats look good?
Yes.
In which case, +1 faction with the Bluecoats. So our mandate is looked at less disfavorably by the police force in general. So I think there are fewer people that will say things like our friend Thina Selkara may have.
Right.
Okay, cool. And then clocks. We just go through the 4 clocks, but I think that's gonna go pretty quick because I don't know that we changed many of them here. Let me close down these and bring up the mandate. All right, cool. We can probably take a quick look at them here. All right, so for wealth, I don't think that us busting a drug den has greatly affected the wealth of Dunslow. How do you folks feel?
No.
Nah.
Okay. Well, because like wealth is, if we've increased chaos, that's a thing. But if we've increased stability, that's a thing. I feel like I don't know that this job did much of either. All right. Safety and security, freedom and suppression. I feel like I know this sounds weird, but by like solving some criminal problems, we may have actually gained pie slices on suppression. I mean, we took some drugs out, we showed some Bluecoats in force, and no one really got hurt, and we got to put some criminals behind bars. That feels like we're increasing. So do you feel like it did 1 tick, 2 tick, 3 ticks? We can...
1 tick.
1 tick sounds good. All right, cool. I will get that on the sheets at some point.
Cool.
And then criminal influence. Have we reduced criminal influence or increased it? I feel like it's like a net wash because on one hand we hurt the red sashes, on the other hand we kind of helped the lamp blacks.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. And finally, I don't think we did shit with occult influence. So, all right, cool. Clock's done. That was quick. And finally, downtimes. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second?
Oh my gosh, I was like, there's so much to do. It's like I feel like we still should start a new clock to reduce pressure.
Okay. How would you like to do that?
That's a good question. Oh, I could maybe do that after by downtime action for like getting Hopper off.
Okay.
Getting Hopper some time.
Cool. Let's do the magistrate.
Sweet. I feel like I probably spawned up to them. But what's cooler? Going to their office or finding them off the clock? I guess.
They are both very cool.
Like sitting down with the magistrate, like some. Because we see like a lot of pubs, like some kind of like higher end, like wine and cheesy kind of like place. Very dimly lit, lots of smoke.
Cool. Yeah.
Lots of eel.
Yeah, she's dressed up a little bit. Has the family pearls on. Carissa Dalmore. Maya Tui, you have You have parts of Duskfall in a tizzy. What is your investigation into?
And I think I look at her from like underneath my lashes across like the dim light of the table we're at. And I'm like, oh well, I am just trying to do my job, Miss Delmore, or Carissa, may I call you?
Please call me Carissa. Just trying to do your job. That's very vague.
I find Duskwall only deals in vagaries. To be more specific, would perhaps tip one's hand toward the game.
The game, you say?
Well, yes, I am not acquainted, of course, being someone who is somewhat of an outsider, but I am beginning to learn how some of these circles turn. Clockwise, counterclockwise, in all directions.
Good to hear it. Good luck. How can I help you?
I was hoping perhaps you might be able to help out a dear friend of mine, a Mr. Harbel Cooper, who's been somewhat wrongfully detained. I'm sure if you look at the file, you'll see that they were taken in on naught but accusations without much evidence, only on the word of some unnamed source. Surely that is not fair.
I have a very delicate relationship with the Bluecoats. If I go yanking young scoundrels out of prison for no reason, it costs me leverage. So, do you want to be more specific and tell me what exactly is going on?
Well, oh, of course, I have nothing to hide. They're somewhat crucial to our current investigations. They may appear to be somewhat of a scoundrel, but their expertise is highly appreciated.
Very well. I'll see that they're released into your care. So if you go to the Charter Hall precinct, the paperwork will be waiting for you.
I do appreciate it, Carissa.
Be careful. I'm not sure what, but some bees are stirring.
Indeed, bees. I do hope that neither of us gets stung, if that is the case. Any particular kinds of bees one should be aware of, perhaps, or wasps? Should I be on the lookout for wasps?
To be really honest, I've never seen a bee or a wasp, so whichever you prefer.
Oh, I think you'll find that one circles around high society and others do not.
Here is the paperwork will be there for you. At around the same time, there was another one put out on Rona. No last name known.
So I heard.
Do you want me to crush that too?
It would be appreciated.
Okay. At some point, you're going to have to let me in on what's going on here.
Oh, of course, of course. I wouldn't dream of keeping anything from you, Carissa.
Very well. Good luck, Mayatui.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. It may be needed.
This is the last thing you can ask me for free. From here on in, it has to be directly to the case, or we have to have some quid pro quo.
Oh, of course. I would not dream of pushing a good opinion of myself further than its limits.
Very well. Good luck.
Thank you. And I shall see you around. Take care. Yay.
Good job.
Oh god.
All right. So we've got a couple of things that we should probably put on the docket. Well, oh, actually, was that an action? Because
Yeah.
you may need to roll.
Yes. Oh, true. True. Whoa, what action is this?
You're
I think it
asking
was
for,
relate.
huh? Yeah, I think it is
It's like
actually.
relate.
Oh gosh, okay. Ooh,
But it's a friend, so you get +1D because it's downtime.
excellent. Thank God.
Yeah, it's the greatest hack in Blades. And by hack, I mean it's actually in the rules. It's just straight up.
I
Hey,
got a 4.
cool. So, it sounds like, which thing were you working on? Were you just like looking to release them, or
Yeah, I think the goal was to release Hopper.
okay?
Right.
So you were just trying to acquire some releases, and
Yeah.
okay, cool.
So what does that die roll represent? Like what?
It's like quality. It just means that it's standard
Okay.
quality. Got an acid that is the equivalent of our current tier.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense.
So, yeah. Uh, cool. So we have a couple of actions that we have to take, and acquiring some disguises would be handy. But like that's the must. If we don't have our alternate identities, we can't do this next job. So that's non-negotiable. Has to be done before we go into the job next time. And then I wouldn't mind seeing a reduce heat using the mandate action. I don't have 100 good ideas as to how to do that. I could try it by just hitting the streets and appearing to be like a good little cop, doing the same stuff that I was doing with the red sashes and whatnot, just like, you know, pursuing things that I know are not going to lead further, and trying to appear like I've learned my lesson from on high. Does that sound fair?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
All right.
But facade.
So let me. Uh, Let me roll. I feel like a little bit of a cheese monkey, but Judd, do you feel like assault is appropriate here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna roll. This is just a straight up reduce heat. I don't think I'm utilizing anything, so I think this is just straight. It's a crit. Uh, because when Drab goes assault, and it's always a crit, apparently. So here's the question: like that crit would reduce our heat by 5, but we only have 3. Can we put some ticks on a like reduced pressure clock, maybe as
Yeah.
a bonus effect? Is that
Yeah.
acceptable? Like a tick.
Totally. Totally.
What is the size of that clock?
Explain to me what release pressure means. I'm not.
So we currently have 1 pressure on the mandate. This means that people from above are still being shitty to us. And
Yeah.
part of how I was trying to reduce heat was to appear like we're doing the job the way they want us to do the job.
Got it.
We are I'm hitting the bead, I'm finding some red sashes, I'm doing that kind of thing, right? Like we are looking like we have learned not to poke in places that we are not welcome.
Got it.
So, like, what I would like to do with that crit is maybe just, like, get a little bit of a head start on this, like, reduce pressure further clock.
Cool. I'm gonna say it's a 4-part clock, and you've already got a tick on it.
Alright, that sounds rad. Let me... reduce pressure 1 out of 4. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's reduce heat. That's our spare action from the mandate. Do you have any other actions you want to take there, Maya Tui?
Oh gosh.
I do have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm the best person to do this idea.
What is the idea?
Well, I was just gonna I was gonna push myself and try to basically like hit some of my underworld contacts in order to generate some outsiders to the city that are coming in, right? So like I don't think that we could pretend that you're not Severosi, but we can pretend that you're a different Severosi. And similarly, I can get some things to like tint my skin and or dye my hair, or maybe not, but like just like, you know, some sort of disguise to and I can be like a manservant, or I can be like a friend, like somebody that's traveling with you, like so that I have plausible excuses. Like if I'm your butler or whatever, like I have plausible excuses to be in society, or I can be like your traveling, like your boon traveling companion, visiting here from the Imperial City, you know, whatever. I can practice my fake Imperial City accent or whatever. But yeah, the reason I'm saying go through underworld assets is because like they are less likely to be tapped, right? Like the city council will 100% know if you look through like diplomatic channels for fake passports and stuff. But if I show up with a passport put together by a master forger, that's a slightly different shit.
I like it. Yeah.
How do you folks feel about that? Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
All right. So I'm going to push myself and look for some assets here. So this is an acquire assets roll, and I think I know someone that may be able to help me. Cortland, a gang leader.
Cool.
I forget which gang he is the leader of, but I bet he can get me in touch with the sorts of people. I believe that it was a smuggling gang, so I believe he can get me with in touch with the sorts of people that do fake IDs.
Yeah, he was the head of the Dunslow Pigs, as I recall.
That's right. All right, so I got a 5, which means that it would be standard. But I think I'm going to actually burn some of my background resources. I'm going to spend my 2 stash so that I get 1 coin, and then I'm going to spend the coin to increase the level on this.
Okay.
I literally pay money for better disguises and like better documents and whatnot. Sound cool?
Yeah, he says, so I don't want you to think that I killed anybody. But this Sevrosi horse trainer was coming in from out of town, and it turns out he'd never done Spark before. And so he got with some of my boys and did some Spark, and he couldn't handle it. So now he's dead. And I've got 3 horses that I don't know what to do with. I don't even know how to move a horse. They're really big. They're not like goats. I don't know if you've ever seen a horse. So I've got them in a place in the train yard, but my railjack contacts, they're getting antsy really fast, and it's costing me a lot of money. So, like,
I have good news for you. I have a friend that has stables for exactly this sort of problem. I will take your horses, and I will take care of it, and I will feed them. I may even sell them, and if I do that, I promise I'll cut you in on the profit.
So the horses were supposed to go to the Rowan family. So they're going to be looking for them.
Well then, did you say the Severosi guy just came in here? And I think we can cut there, right? Because at that point we have an in, right? Like we can go and negotiate with the Rowans.
Yeah.
And I think there's a hilarious scene that like fans of the show will probably be entirely delighted with, where Drav like closes the door to Maya's office. Or whatever you use. It could be the coffee shop in the morning or whatever. He sits down and he goes, I need to learn how to ride horses. Like, especially because, like, 2 minutes ago, he was just like, that thing is huge. I am not getting on one of those things. And now he's just like, I need to know everything there is to know about horses, and I need to learn how to ride one. So.
But yeah, Maya puts the coffee cup down. Looks so excited.
Awesome. I pushed myself, so I should mark stress so that when I vice, I don't just overindulge. Sounds good. Cool. Rad story. All right. I've done 2 downtime actions, I believe. So Maya, you got anything you want to do here?
Oh, so many things. I could reduce some more pressure, perhaps. or I think the only other thing I could do is train. So I guess like I could, yeah, just I feel like reducing pressure is prudent ahead of training. Uh,
Well,
Is
what's
there,
your
is
what's
there-
your what's your stress? Your stress. Oh, that's right. You don't have traumas, and you're probably still at one. Haha.
I have three stress right now, so like
That's still probably okay for a job.
maybe yeah, well maybe I'll yeah we'll see. I can spend my armor to push myself in the course of duties. That's I think I'll be okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. So you had one action, which was the clock, which means that you should have one action remaining. And you
Yes.
said you wanted to work on the clock rather than train.
Uh,
I feel like training is. It's not gonna. It may not help us this session, but I feel like it's an important thing to work towards because it generally makes us just more effective, right? Like
yeah, totes.
when you're playing in a crew with like 5 people, you can have like experts on multiple skills, such that like, oh, do you need assault? Well, then you get drav. Do you need this other skill? Well, somebody has it covered. But when you're playing with 2 people, having people with like higher caps and like more actions is important because the 2 of us have to be like force multipliers, right? Like we have to act as if we were 4 people. So training is actually not the worst idea because it puts you a lot closer to having like better resistances, having like better all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I would advise you to train, but this is your call.
I will trade then. Yeah. Do we get any bonuses from training specific things? I don't think so, right?
Don't.
Only
have to-
okay. So the way training works is there is no roll; it just happens, and it's you mark 1 XP in a thing. But I think we have all the trainings, which means that we mark 2 XP in whatever the thing is. So whatever you're working towards, just you gain 2 XP. You just have to tell us how you're training.
Yep.
Okay. I think I'll train towards a special ability,
Sounds good.
which perhaps this is like I feel like this has to be some kind of this is me learning about how the city works and preparing for like our score of like this is how one operates in like society and that kind of thing. It's probably a lot of embarrassing faux pas in the training montage.
Is there a particular special ability that you're kind of like thinking you're going to work towards?
Good question.
Is there a high society ability for inspectors? I remember reading the inspector sheets and I was just like, holy crap, these are amazing. But
Yeah,
I read the Bluecoats sheets and I'm like, I kind of mostly want to be a crook.
let's play out the Bluecoats inspector sheet now. Let's see.
Good person to know. When you would take -1 status with a faction, you may instead take stress equal to its tier +1 to smooth it over.
That may be handy. I think like beyond
Reproach is
yeah.
yeah.
Beyond Reproach is amazing.
Yeah, I think that's the one I will angle towards.
Cool.
Oppressing
It's
people. Yeah.
just good.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, totally. I will oppress people with my knowledge of.
Yeah, I think it's just you looking at law books, and studying.
Totally.
And
It's
maybe
like my mind power.
is there like a little bit of is something happening between Mayatui and the magistrate? Is that
Potentially.
okay?
That maybe, yeah, I could totally.
Yeah. I felt like some of the fans at home were shipping them, so I was trying to make sure.
I'm curious about that. What does that look like? Do you actually like spend time with the magistrate? She seemed like this like interesting but very severe woman.
Yeah.
So like, are you? What does that look like? Like, are you visiting with her? Are you practicing your imperialness? Oh, you mentioned you were studying law books, but do you like show up to like take law books from her, or is this like late night tea where she quizzes you on what you studied that day.
Oh, yeah. I feel like either way, like the phrase, like, please allow me access to your private library, like, gets used just like it.
Holy crap. Okay. Oh my god.
Maybe it's late night studying with her in yeah, amongst her personal collection.
Yes. Wow. As a librarian, I can tell you that's very intimate stuff there, your private library.
Uh,
Cool.
all right.
Cool.
I have one last question for you, Judd. So I'm in a
Yeah.
bit of a pickle, and I'm curious if I can even Vice. Because theoretically, my Vice is coaching Rona during and betting on those like underground bouts, right?
Right.
But if Rona is a persona non grata, I'm curious if she would even go to that sort of bout.
What was here's a question I have for you. What was Drav's playbook when he was in the crew?
He was a spider.
Okay. Awesome.
That's why like all the card shuffling and like identifying people with like specific cards and planning ahead and all this like weird manipulation of factors left and right?
Yeah.
I think he was the spider, and he was probably actually, because my assault is so high. I want to say that like Rona was our cutter, but I was like her backup on the physical field, right? But like I wasn't a cutter. Like I was good at fighting, I just wasn't a cutter. A cutter is different, right? So yeah, I think I was a spider.
I mean, you told Rona to get the knives out, so I think Rona canceled her fights, and I think if you want to have your Vice be training knives with Rona, I'm cool with that.
Okay, so interestingly, my Vice, the Vice that I had chosen originally was obligation, right? Like it's obligation to my friends in my past, right? And I think that this is potentially a way to maybe like even meet that, right? Like where like I'm rusty, like I take like clubs, or she does like hand shifts, which I can't even remember anymore or whatnot.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Do we roll and then we go off of that, or how do you want to do this?
Let's roll and go off of that and see what it looks like.
Awesome. Wait, there is a Vice button. Somebody told me this, and then I get an extra die. Whoopsh. Oof, only 3, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, nobody. She knows that neither of you are ready to work with live steel, so she gets rattan sticks, and she starts working. But I think and rattan is pretty hard, and it hurts, but so she doesn't hold back. With rattan, so I think you're just like a mass of bruises, from the training. Yeah.
So I think that there's probably like a moment after we're done, and I'm like horribly bruised, and I like pull out the same med kit that I use to usually like treat her cuts and everything. I'm just like, your turn.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. She treats you. And she says, "You've gotten slow. You're used to having 5 other Bluecoats at your back."
Well, it's not just that. We don't fight with free and steel, right? Like, we don't play for keeps. Nobody fucking kills Bluecoats, because the moment you kill Bluecoats, everybody comes down on you like the sound of thunder. I'm used to not having to worry about my life, because the amount of people that would pull a gun on a Bluecoat are limited.
I'm thinking that where you're going, people will pull guns in on you, so you need to sharpen the fuck up.
Aye, aye, sir. I'm good with that if you are.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. I think there is probably like a thing where like we actually do see like Drav hitting the Bluecoat equivalent of a gym or whatever we have at the precinct.
Yeah.
I don't know that Dunslow is like particularly great, but we probably have like a backyard with like some place to do chin-ups or something. So
yeah, I think it's probably pull-up bars and rings and leather sacks filled with heavy sand that you can carry around, and nobody fucking uses it. Absolutely, no one uses it.
I think that's where my lunches are going.
Cool.
All right. That's it for downtime. So, do you folks want to take a break?
Take a break and then we'll do a job.
All right, it sounds good. All right, so for everybody watching, thank you for hanging out with us. We should be back in just a couple of minutes. So hopefully we'll see you when we get back.
Yay.